is going to be a longtime civil rights activist, the founder of Path Press Incorporated, the first black-owned book publishing company in the United States, and proud Evanstonian, Bennett Johnson.
Thank you for being here. You have to excuse me if my voice goes out on occasion. I've had an upper respiratory infection, but I'm doing a lot better. Before we start, I want to make it clear that Tim has written a book, Samuel D. Black, called Bridges of Memory. The reason that you should read it is because it tells racism from a black perspective, from several black perspectives. But there's another book you should get by Mary Barr, Friends Disappear, because it also tells about racism, but from a white person's perspective. And I think between those two, you begin to understand some of the problems that we're faced here today in the United States on the North Shore of the state of Illinois. Tim and I met in 1948 at Roosevelt College. Our classmates were Harold Washington, Gus Savage, Joe Siegel, Dempsey Travis, Frank London Brown. Some of those names mean something to you and some of them don't. But they were people who were trying to change the world for the better. Roosevelt, as some of you know, was one of the first schools in the country, universities, to not have a quota for blacks and Jews. And so a lot of leadership folks from those communities came to Roosevelt. In 1948, Tim and I taught school together at Farragut High School. Tim continued his career in education and as a historian, including serving on the faculty of Harold Washington College, among other things. He was a charter member of the Negro American Labor Council, working with A. Philip Randolph, and the president of the Chicago chapter of NALC. In 1960, we worked together on the March on Conventions movement with Dempsey Travis, who at that time was president of the Chicago branch of the NAACP. We had the largest demonstration in Chicago's history at that time. It really was a dress rehearsal for the 1963 March on Washington, because it was the first time that the civil rights leaders, the prominent civil rights leaders, got together for a demonstration. Roy Wilkins of NAACP, Dr. Martin Luther King of SCLC, A. Philip Randolph of NALC, Whitney Young of National Urban League, and James Farmer of CORE. In 1963, we worked together on the March on Washington, as you know, was tremendously successful. But our main local focus on black independent politics. In 1963, we founded Protests at the Polls with Gus Savage, Herman C. Gilbert, Lucy Jean Lewis, Bob Winbush, Don Rose, Bernetta Howell Barrett, and several other activists. Names that may not mean too much to you, but they made a difference in what was going on in Chicago. It culminated in the election of Harold Washington. I could continue in this method talking about what Tim had done for another half an hour, but I think my time is up. But let me say one thing. Most of you know the date December the 7th. Most of you understand what that means in America. But December the 7th, 1918,